It's time for Tech Talk with Mathew Dickerson. I'm your host, Tony Graham. G'day, Matthew.
Yeah, good afternoon again, Tony. Excited to talk about technology again. I've been waiting around all day to chat about it again after this morning's effort.
Oh, you are a champion, no doubt. Now, heart disease is something that over the years there's been huge strides made into improvement in technology there. But now we have something very tiny that can help there.
Yes, certainly.
That's been developed, yeah.
And it is very tiny, and we do hope it can help. It is a bit scary. There's one Aussie that dies at the moment from heart disease, from cardiovascular disease, every 19 minutes. So it is a huge killer in Australia. And obviously there's lots of research being done around the world. It's not just Aussies that suffer from this problem. But the problem is another step is being taken in solving this problem by Aussies. And I always get excited about the ingenuity and the innovative nature of Aussies. And again, in this example, the University of Adelaide has been working with the University of Stuttgart, and they've developed a 3D micro-printed camera, or a scope as they call it, to be able to look inside our blood vessels. Now, they've been doing the trials on mice so far to get down inside the actual blood vessels. And you think, well, gee, mice have got fairly small blood vessels. How small is this camera? The actual diameter of the lens is 0.457 millimetres. And then that's hooked up to a fibre cable that's basically the thickness of human hair. So that's fed down into your veins, into the heart itself, and to look at the walls or the inside of the walls of your blood vessels to see the build-up of fatty deposits and cholesterol, to try and work out better ways to treat that and obviously try and reduce that build-up and get to the point where cardiovascular disease isn't the problem it is today. But it is quite incredible that you get to that point now where we think about 3D printing and we think about some of the fantastic things that we print with 3D, but this is so small that you practically can't see the printing process even happen. So again, great research being done there, and hopefully we'll see more development from this and more treatment as we all age and we're all subject to possibly cardiovascular disease.
Yeah, that's a huge step forward, isn't it?
It is, absolutely.
Yeah. Now, Nissan has built the world's first electric car discharging station. So what's that all about?
Did you say discharging station, Tony?
I did. I nearly stumbled over it.
It doesn't make sense, does it? You think we'd have electric car charging stations, but in this scenario, the Nissan have built a discharging station because their Nissan Leaf is the first vehicle, and I'm sure there'll be more, the first electric vehicle that allows charging and discharging. And at first they talked about maybe using that in your home, hook up some solar panels, charge up during the day, you can drive your car, and at night time that battery in the car can effectively be used to power some of the things in your home or supplement the normal power. And there's an experiment that we've talked about on this show before, Tony, over in Canberra, where they hooked up 50 Nissan Leaf vehicles to actually power the grid to see how well that worked and just to iron out some of the bugs that might be in that. But the Nissan discharging station over in Yokohama is set up literally to test that process on a very large scale. You pull up to the discharging station, plug in, it will take a little bit of power from your vehicle to power some things inside the cafe, the office there, and effectively you get paid for that because you'd normally pay for parking, but instead of paying for parking, if you plug in your electric vehicle to discharge, then they actually pay you for that in free parking. So they're not expecting something for nothing there. They're expecting to have your participation, but also to get some I suppose, good data out of that participation. But it just goes to show where we're headed with electric vehicles. It's not a static entity. There's not a model that everyone agrees is the perfect model at the moment. There is a whole bunch of experimentation going on with electric vehicles, and this is just another one of those where it might be your car might be more than your car. Your car might be part of the whole power grid on your house or the whole power grid across the entire nation.
Yeah, it looks like the investment and the ideas in this sort of technology is moving very fast now.
Very fast.
Now, Matthew, can you finally track your sleep with the Apple Watch?
Finally, Tony, finally. Apple Watch leads the market. They've been the majority market player in the watch or the smartwatch space for a few years now by a long margin. But one of the criticisms that's been made of the Apple Watch is that it doesn't track your sleep, whereas some of the other competitors to the Apple Watch do track your sleep. And tracking sleep is an interesting one, Tony. There are a whole range of different hypotheses, a whole range of different experiments that have been done on trying to track the quality of your sleep. And that's where there's no common agreement about how to track the quality of your sleep. So most of them do track the length of time you sleep and how long you sleep for at a time, whether you woke up every hour, whether you woke up every 3 hours. So you've got that information, but that's been something lacking from the watchOS. So at the moment, the watchOS 7 has just come out in its beta version. Anyone that's got a current version of the Apple Watch can download that and start tracking their sleep each night and just get an idea of how that's working. And again, I'm sure there'll be a lot more development from Apple and from their competitors, because they're all driving each other forward to try and get better ways to track the quality of our sleep. And when we can track things like our heart rate when we go for a run or we go for a bike ride and do lots of things to look at our active health, I think one of the missing parts of that is tracking things like your sleep, because obviously for healthy living, sleep is really important.
Well, next thing they'll be selling watch doctors, I think.
Well, we talked about the Samsung announcements last week, and the new Samsung watch has got a built-in ECG, and that's actually been given approval by the FDA in America. So again, you're not far off the mark. You'll get watch information that will be able to feed through to your doctor. So yeah, we're tracking a lot more information about our body.
Yeah, do telehealth with the thing at the same time, maybe.
Yeah, that's right. Have that information feed through. And one of the things with the Apple Watch, it's a whole range of things they're trying to work on. If you wash your hands at the moment with the Apple Watch, with the new watchOS, it will detect that you're using your hands and your watch in a hand washing motion. So it will start a countdown timer of 20 seconds being the recommended time you should wash your hands for, to try and make sure there's no COVID-19 left on your hands after you've washed them. So it's all these little things that are trying to help us and trying to make us, I suppose, healthier and happier.
Right, isn't it? And you've been listening to Tech Talk with Mathew Dickerson on Binjang 91.5. I'm your host, Tony Graham. Stay tuned next week for the morning session at 10:40 a.m. and the afternoon session at 3:40 p.m. for the great information that you get out of these programs, and it's back to the great music and community information on Binjang.
Thanks, Tony. I'll go and start preparing for next week now.